really thought we had a. Lately I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Lately I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else.
Yes, global greetings, global greetings. Welcome to another edition of the Topiks here on Real Entertainment Network. It's about that time, Tuesday evening, when we get into another edition of the Topiks here on the Real Entertainment platform. I want to say good evening to Oli and Layamiga, everybody here in the Federation of Oli and Layamiga. For all of you who would have enjoyed, or as we would say within Rastafari, full joyed the music festival and the Mango Festival, and even prior to that, those who were able to experience the Bread Nut Affair and the Bread Food Festival, we want to say, welcome and good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Topiks. We want to say also good evening to all of our ardent fans and listeners wherever you are throughout the globe. We have people who listen to us from England, America, China, Taiwan, all over the globe, and we want to say a special good evening to you as we continue on this edition of the Topiks. And as we get into this edition, it took me some time to really come to grips and accept that this has really happened, because I listened to one of the persons who made the announcement in relation to the passing of Yvonne Jeffers, and it really took me some time. I really wanted to get some confirmation about that, before even really say anything, because Banky, I don't know if you are aware, but Yvonne Jeffers was actually planning to visit St. Kitts for August, and
Yes.
two of the places she had on her list to visit was Tafari's Plant Nursery and Saba's Organic. And I literally have the list of places and plans, of the places that she intended to visit. And it was like she sent me the list about a week, or maybe let's give 2 weeks. And then I heard the announcement, The other thing is, why this touches me so much is because our communication started as a result of seeking to verify if we are actually family related. And we discovered that. And we were in the process of seeking to connect the dots in terms of, the family lineage and all that. And we began doing that. She actually began connecting me with a family member who is in England, who, from what she was explaining to me, is that he is involved or manages or is maybe the owner of one of the biggest sound systems in England, in the area in which they play or reside. And so she was seeking to make that connection. And so I want to send some condolences out to the family of Yvonne Jeffers, who was residing in England. And, it really means a lot to me. And for those who are family members, closely connected and so on, I do wish to continue to make that connection, because family is family. And so the connection was, being sought, and I really would want to, take some time out to, like I said, send some condolences to the family and those who are mourning the loss of one person. And I do wish I really have gotten a chance to meet her in person, and I was really looking forward to that in August. Now, Banky, I was just, before you got in, I was about to get into sharing a little bit of the last, well, I don't know if it's the last, but the discussion that is going on right now in CARICOM, the 49th regular meeting of the heads of government in CARICOM. But I'll let you do your introduction, and then we'll take a little sneak peek of that. And I guess that part of that could be a bit of the basis of the discussion that we are having. And so I'll let you do your introduction, and then we can get into a little bit of that and any other topic that you may have that you may want to address as well.
Yes, and good evening to the listening audience and viewing audience. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in another Tuesday on your entertainment network and the Topikz. Yes, son, nice seeing you, Virgin. Yeah, you're closer now, so I can't say you're there millions of miles away. So the energy different now, Yeah, Jane, yeah, feel good. Yes, so greetings to the folks in the island of Orly and Liamega. If you're first time listener, that's the ancient name for St. Kitts and Nevis, which is the colonial name. So we need to get this name back to the original to bring back the real vibration and frequencies. So good evening to the folks in the neighboring islands, Saban Station, the US Virgin Islands, the BVI, also the folks over in Montserrat and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Antigua and Barbuda, and also Bermuda. See some friends here from Bermuda who reside here now. So love to see the people coming back and setting up themselves. Also the folks in the diaspora, North America, from the Florida Keys straight up to Maine. Have some friends here from Maine. Well, they're from here, but they live in Maine, but doing some work here, some doctors and stuff like that. Well, our go school together, Mary and her husband, which is my cousin. So always glad to see when locals go overseas, bring back their skill set and donate it back to their island, which is a beautiful, this is what most of us doing. So good evening to also in North America. Sorry about that. Over in Europe, England, and yes, Evan Jeffers. That is sad. When I heard the news, I mentioned it on another on Choice 2020 Vision, because Walter passed away also suddenly, which I listened to Walter on the breakfast show, the Saturday show, and then like I said, the following week or two, you hear he passed. I didn't know it was that serious, so we just had some sudden death which we didn't plan for, and then today was the burial of my cousin, Leon Barry, the taxi man. Everybody know Leon, and also used to, in the early days when we were growing up, he used to work in the Henville hardware store over there by the fisheries area. Very upful, always funny, have something smart to say. If you don't have some kind of, if you ain't gonna, if you ain't gonna sense of humor, well, sorry about that, but he ain't care. That's just, that's just how it is. So, and that's just a part of growing up in Nevis and on the island. If you can't take heckling and all these things, you end up with a nickname. You see what I mean? Say, might as well go along with the flow and don't show no sign of weakness. Otherwise, you poop. Couple blow your pipe. Yes. So yes, and it's sad. And I want to think I met Evan I wonder if you were here last year, cultural, but I met a few of them who came down a cultural time and by the food festival and stuff like that and introduced themselves. Even some from North Carolina and South Carolina. Because we have a lot of listeners, and when they do hear the voice, they say, well, you look from, and they'll come over and introduce themselves. So we really appreciate stuff like that. So there's a lot to talk about. It's been getting a lot of rain today. And so we really appreciate that. I have some melon in the ground about to start flower. And then I have some melon to plant out about Saturday or Sunday. And then I'll set melon seeds again this week. So it's just a continuity and stuff like that. So
You want to make sure you have
well,
consistent. That's the plan.
yeah, that's the meditation. And then in the short forward, we're gonna start set up a greenhouse. We can put in my tomatoes and bell peppers and certain things and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the beat. It's just consistency and stuff like that. But there's a lot to talk about because we just came out of the Mango Fest weekend there, and the week before was into the music festival, and the week before, which you already spoke about. So yeah, so enough you said,
Man. So we'll touch base on that. But what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna just take maybe a couple of minutes and drop in a little bit of what is actually taking place right now, live in, I think it is in Jamaica. I think it is taking place, but I stand to be corrected. However, we will have seen the introduction of the new head of CARICOM. I think from what I've been gathering, it's a 6-month stint. So each member get an opportunity to be the head. And we are seeing the new leader is going to be the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, who is taking it up from Mia Motley, who was the prior leader. And it is where all of the leaders of CARICOM meet annually. It is held in a different territory most times. And so all of the Caribbean leaders are at that place, and it is, well, you know what? I'll get into some of my thoughts after, but I guess I'll let you listen to a bit of what is going on right now. So at least if there's anything from what you hear as well that you would want to address, we welcome you to the platform. We welcome your comments, whether it's on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. And we want to also encourage you to go to the YouTube platform, look for Real Entertainment Network, subscribe to Real Entertainment Network on the YouTube platform, like, subscribe, and share the link. We're going to get into this.
Their willingness to provide humanitarian support. And of course, Jamaica will join in that as well. The difficulty with providing humanitarian support is that you need to have some form of security mechanism to ensure that the humanitarian support actually gets to the intended beneficiaries. So presently, the challenge would be a resource challenge to have enough resources to support a full deployment of security personnel. Currently, the largest deployment in Haiti would be from Kenya. That essentially leads the multinational security force. But Lauren is here, and he could give you some more details on that.
Yes, I would add, based on my conversation with the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, he will try to send a vessel along with the help of the US to the region close to Haiti. So this is what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Please go ahead. Yes.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to a bit of the 49th regular meeting of Conference of CARICOM, Heads of Government of CARICOM.
Development of CARICOM. What concrete steps is the community taking after this meeting to deepen ties with other regions like Africa, Asia, Latin America? Thank you.
Well, to follow on from the question about what are we going to do about the new America First trade policy, which is being implemented, and the 10% base tariff that we now face. We've long, as a region, we've long been talking about strengthening trade cooperation South-South with Africa, with Central and South America. And even within CARICOM, because even within CARICOM, the trade is probably less than 15% internal relative to total trade. So the question is, what are you going to do with this new base tariff that's implemented? Well, one of the things we have to do is to diversify our trade. And no, it's not just a matter of talk, it is an urgent matter. So we have been engaged with the Afri-Exempt Bank, and that has gone very well. They have established an office in Barbados, and Jamaica just today signed the instruments of partnership. And so we will be looking to utilize the trade facilitation and finance facilitation that comes with this partnership to increase trade, not just in goods, but trades in services as well, and in particular the creative industries, which we do have a comparative and competitive advantage in. Internally within CARICOM, there are still some non-tariff barriers and other measures that form an obstacle to trade. And we have put together a committee headed by the foreign ministers of trade of Jamaica and Barbados to seriously examine how we can reduce, if not totally remove, these non-tariff barriers, and to standardize procedures across the board to facilitate greater trade intra-regionally. The region has incredible resources, but there needs to be greater economic coordination through the CSME, but directly through our private sector. Guyana, for example, Trinidad, and Suriname have incredible resources in energy. They have discovered oil. Jamaica has a very strong financial architecture, strong financial markets. Other areas are strong in agriculture and services. So there is a strong intra-regional basis for trade. There has to be some public infrastructure to support that as well. For example, the critical one is transportation. We have made some progress in air transportation, and from my remarks earlier, I mentioned that we have now, we're well down the road in developing a plan for a ferry service regionally, which is likely to start in the Eastern Caribbean, but that would also have some cargo capabilities, and the plan is to expand that regionally. So I would say that for the first time, the region is really taking very seriously the diversification of its of the CSFE and the common economy, and putting in place the infrastructure to support intra-regional trade and to support South-South trade.
Mr. Chairman, I know Jamaica has another event planned. We will take one more question from the room, and then we will wrap up for this afternoon.
My Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, As you know, my name is Ras Asta Black, and I'm from Bob Arts Television, which is local here in Jamaica. I would like to take things in a softer vibes right now, and asking you to endorse the North Coast Highway from Montego Bay Airport to Ocho to be renamed the Reggae Highway as a tribute to all our ambassadors of this great music come from this little island, reggae.
How can I say no?
That's really
Well, obviously, I can't make policy on the fly, but I would say it's an excellent idea. And though this is not what you have raised is not necessarily CARICOM related, but just for context, we are planning the extension of the North-South Highway, and there actually was a proposal, still a live proposal, to name a part of that corridor after a great international musical icon with Jamaican heritage, Harry Belafonte. So the idea is one that does resonate with me, and I will take it back to cabinet and have a full discussion to see how that could be accommodated. Thank you for the suggestion.
Chairman, we appreciate that you, colleague heads, and the Secretary General have made yourselves available to speak today with the media. And the chair would like to take a final question from the room, from the
So
chair.
not that I would like to.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shauna from you. My question, are we going to see more trading among Caribbean nations?
Yeah, I mean,
yes, we're going to see more trading, but look, most of our economies are service-based. So you're going to see more trade, but you should also take note that trade works when there are other parallel activities. So there needs to be a freer and more integrated capital market and a freer labor market. And therefore, the free movement of labor in the region is something that is critical. And as I had announced earlier, we now have 4 countries that have indicated that they are at the stage where they are prepared to start as of the 1st of October. That's the 1st of October. And Jamaica is making the commitment that we will do it, but we still have to work out our internal legal and procedural issues. But what we're committing to is to put that on a fast track. In fact, the Minister of Foreign Affairs will likely be tasked with ensuring that very, very soon we can join the other 4 who have said they are ready. And the Secretary General is reminding me that for trade you need transportation as well, and we are well on our way in that, both for trade and for the free movement of
it. All right, well, Banky, sometimes the thing is, a lot of these things, sometimes if we don't get it like this, where we get to listen to these presentations like this, or you go back on YouTube and try to research for yourself, in a lot of cases, we really don't hear a lot of the things that are discussed. In a lot of cases, sometimes, even if our leaders do come back and report to us, sometimes the level of reporting that is given, the little bit that is shared, sometimes it really makes you wonder. Some of the issues, Banky, I think we're starting here with CARICOM, and some of the issues that I have with CARICOM is CARICOM is kind of likened to a dog without teeth, in the sense that we have a lot of these lofty ambitions and things that they would love to see happen, or at least they say they say that they would love to see happen. But at the end of the day, here is it that we have all these leaders meeting up every year to discuss topics that they say are very important and vital and critical. I mean, I just listened to the Prime Minister of Jamaica, who is now the head of CARICOM, saying that in terms of the actual steps taken to integrate and have that one Caribbean community as they're talking about, it's only 4 countries so far out of CARICOM willing to sign on to that. And this is one of the problems that I have. They have these lofty ambitions that can only be achieved if the countries who are involved would collaborate and work together. However, at the end of all of these discussions, it is left up to the individual governments to implement all of these things that they said that they should do, and said that they want to do, and said that it's so important to do. At the end of the meeting, there is no mechanism to say, okay, this is what we say we are going to do, and it has to be implemented in 6 months. So you have 6 months to get your acts together and implement this. It is not a case like that. It is left for individual leaders to, if they choose to, adhere to and move forward with whatever it is that they discuss. And if they choose to, they don't have a time frame in which to do it. And this was something that I recognized when they were pushing the cannabis agenda, when CARICOM did their 4-year research on cannabis. And that is why we are the way we are still in the Caribbean, where even though CARICOM would have recommended, because at the end of the day, it's just recommendation. So CARICOM recommended that the leadership in CARICOM countries free up cannabis the same way they free up alcohol and tobacco. Treat cannabis the same way they treat alcohol and tobacco. That was the recommendation of CARICOM to the Caribbean CARICOM countries. But it was left up to the individual leaders to go back to their country and implement and or not implement. So there's no repercussions for not implementing, and there's no repercussions for not implementing at a specific time frame. So let me keep saying, we have like an organization that it seems like sometimes it's just an opportunity for them to meet up with their friends who they went to university with, or college with, or train together, and so on. And
Yes,
they have
son.
nice fancy party. Yes, sir.
Yes, son. Perfectly. You just hit the nail right on the head, even with your eyes shut and you hold the nail. You don't even bust your finger. I so happened to, over this long weekend, to sit with a former minister of government from Grenada, a very good friend of mine, and was talking about CARICOM. He said, Banky, it's just a bunch of fellows who go to university together and love to, when they meet up and eat and drink and have fun. They're not serious. You see, you just said so? It's alignment. Me tell you about this conversation, you know. So you're not guessing, you know. Me tell you exactly what a former member of government of Grenada tell me, you know. Is a bunch, a talk shop and vacation for all of these guys who went to universities and meet up. You saw the laughing and chatting and making the fun? And that's what it's all about. That are the reality. So me know I hear about CARICOM. Next topic. You could talk about CARICOM, me know nothing to say about CARICOM. Because if we talk about CARICOM, all about it been no CARICOM and Joe Thomas me not talk about, you know. Because me serious about these things, you know. Me not waste time like your son. It's accountability me deal with, you know. Me come in different in a virgin.
I hear you.
This is why I want all the time, Virgin.
Hold on. At the same time, Banky.
Watch
At
it.
the same
Listen
time.
this again. What CARICOM
wait,
doing
hold
about no? What CARICOM doing about the underage of the boys and girls? Doing anything about that? What they doing about that? They're not serious, Virgin. What doing about food security? Where is a talk shop? Me tell somebody tell me if fish come out the water until the boy shark in there. You tell me must continue the conversation? Until the hours me sit down on the farm with them and tell me these things. You understand? The man up nearly 80.
Watch here. We have a responsibility still
I
help
ain't want
to
to hear
educate.
nothing about CARICOM.
No,
So
it's
when we
not
say
about
that, so
learning.
we're not
No, hold
taking
on.
serious. Loan
No,
one,
hold
they're
on.
not
No,
teaching
it's not about
nothing.
learning. Wait, it's not. No, it's not.
Is
No,
one.
not teach you. It's not teach you. I'm not
Oh,
worried about you. I'm worried about
well,
our people who
then
believe
another better.
that things
Believe one.
have have serious implications for them down the road. And we remember we still a
Well,
part of CARICOM at the
I
end
do
of the
the
day,
same thing. I do the
Uh-huh.
same thing. They're not serious. A talk shop. All them say this. Anybody could call in and say a talk shop. It's 100% agreement. In all islands, gonna say the same thing. 100% agreement is that the man's island going to say universities. They are boys club. You see, a boys club thing CARICOM is all about. It's all about talking. You see, what?
Okay.
Remember, you know, Grenada and Petty Martin just get mashed up with our thing. Let's stop talking about. There are people who still displaced. You see what I mean? There are people who still got tarpaulin in the house from some of the stuff that passed in St. Kitts with the program, waiting these things not real. So then there are people in Navy who still got outside bathroom and all these things. It's in all the countries around in CARICOM, with all the billions they make from the CBI, and they're gone on vacation, and then you realize every time they move to a country, each other get the chance to be the chair. Yeah, that's how they set it up. So all they get a chance to be prestige. It's not like you vote and get a president who serve for 5 years or 2 years and they change it. No, all them equal. You see, it's just talk shop. Me to the man tell me, you know, and this an elder, nearly 80 years old, virgin. I love to be around elders. So that is why me not entertain. CARICOM, geothermal, and all the things there. 20 years plus, what about geothermal? Then what about geothermal went and called Exim Bank. Me go up in a house, all me hear politics, you know. So me on a church, so me want to cock up me ear. All me hear politics. You see? And all that what me hear. So me have to listen and then have an interest and do my own research and think for myself. Not with these fools coming with the crap. Your son, nobody in St. Kitts and Nevis or in none of the Caribbean countries supposed to work who listen to my sound of my voice. None of us should be working and paying no bills. With the amount of money we're supposed to get every month, minimum $10,000 every month in bank account. Every native. With about citizen, native. Because it's a native only thing me work with. Me not with no citizen can ever get a passport. No. Native. Entitled. Just so Guyana then got the gold and the oil, they should get money every month. We have resources that we sell in our land as estimate. Them are canos. All them are the same thing. Them are laugh after us. Them are in the same bed, a French kiss and love up each other like their wives. And they be, husband and wife they be. You know, see a poor man, mostly men. It's a man thing, you know, your son. Get the drift. That's how it is. Them are canos, so me not about CARICOM. Next topic.
So here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna leave CARICOM and circle back to CARICOM. But here's
yeah,
what
but you want to talk about it, not me.
I'll give you the opportunity now to introduce the next topic. Yeah, but I'm gonna deal with it when it come out. But yeah, I'm gonna give you the opportunity now to introduce the next topic.
Well, the next topic we can talk about the Mango Festival. I think that is important. I realize my face all over the place. So even all in the news, the Observer, there was, but I do the front page. I did well. Me don't, you know what I mean? Too much in the things. We're just too busy to do my thing. But I appreciate that. You see what I mean? So see the tourism authority and department and the government. Same thing in agriculture. I seem to be the face of agriculture and this and that and whatever, which I appreciate it. So it means they have me at that status as those who are bringing from overseas. So I appreciate that. You know what I mean? And people come to visit. So it started on the 4th, leading up to the 6th. I mean, it was well promoted. So got a big up Free and Jones and Aldo and his whole staff and to put everything together and stuff like that. It's his 11th year. I've been doing it most of the year, if not 8, 9. Yeah, I think I missed 1 year when I do it. Everything would mash up, went bad. So I had to protest the year there. So everything mash up. You know, make a protest. Once anything coming, me like a protest. It's just genetics can't help it. You understand? Yeah. So this year, like last year, from last year, they have hired Mr. No Mills, I guess, to come in and partake and organizing stuff like this and stuff like that. But one thing I must say from the get-go, okay? I like things start on time. So at any event, if you start 1 o'clock, I go there by 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. If it's in the park this Sunday, I go there by 9:30. Because my thing is, they advertise early. People buying ticket for early lime, which means if early lime, it means the gate's supposed to open. Music's supposed to start play by 9:30. So the sound check done with the band and everything who play the Saturday in the evening. So when Sunday come, it's just time to play music. I mean, they can hire me, you know. I mean, they can closest Noah, anybody else who is whatever, but they can hire me. Because them it's easy thing. I don't want to go to no event. That's why I go and set up myself, because every event is the same. They don't start on time. I don't like that. I don't get involved and talk to nobody because it's not my thing. I get paid to delegate people. But I see a lot of negativity, you know what I mean? Because I don't see if you're going to buy a ticket and say early line for 11 and I come, nothing set up no food yet, nothing, people are walk around. So what you how do is me got to entertain them. You see? I'm the one how to entertain. If they want somebody inside there, they don't make me there. And if they want something, they can get mango to taste and you know what I mean, stuff like that. So I'm the one who have to keep the crowd till everybody else coming at all times, you know. And that's truth. Those who are there with the tourism authority who work under the tent, like you'd have some young lady from Brick Hill, and you'll have Bev and what the young lady name, Carvel, and all the others, Julie. Anybody know I can tell you the Rasta man day early in the morning. No, I'll be there by 9. What time it start? Just a rain check, 1 o'clock. I'll be there before 10 o'clock. I mean, don't set myself. So when you come, that's it. You gotta be professional. You know what I mean? The gates, you have to have as much gates and people coming in and out. You have to come in to control people coming in and stuff like that. And serving of the food at the same time, you can't have people saying that function start 1 and then all at 1:30 you still a sound check, and all at 2 o'clock now people still set up food and all them not ready yet. Them madness, brethren. These are things I observe, you know what I'm saying? I always look, you know, and see things all the time. That's what me there for. I'm not just there to entertain. I'm there just to work along with the crowd and engage them and stuff. But at the same time, wherever I see faults, I need to speak on it also for improvement, because you're selling a product, you see, and criticism is good. And I can see negativity and between stuff. You can see there's issues between staff and other areas and whatever. I don't know. You understand? But my observation, I could see these things. But wherever it is, all these things need to be sorted out. Within if there's a board or whoever making decision. Because what I see going on there is nothing special in your son. Me can run next year thing and guarantee you it start on time. Because I don't function all the time. Must start on time. If you're going to start 1, you're going to start on. If I want somebody there, you're going to start. I say everybody's supposed to set up their stuff. Who come the 50 chefs tasting, can't be setting up all the minutes to 2 and all the thing then after 1 and the kind of vibes in. You understand? It make no sense, bro. And people done there after walk out in the place are not full up. And that's an annual thing. And then when you have these things, when you look around, you see a whole crowd by most of these booths and stuff like that. They need to have servers. You have things and people walking around in front of them, and you know what I mean? So they could keep moving, so you get the samples as much and deal with much people as possible. You see what I mean? Remember, me not get paid to talk about these things there, you know. But me tell you these simple things, you can't keep making the same mistake over and over. And also, the majority inside there you're not sell. They need to change that. They need to charge, we don't charge 50 cents, and let the vendors and the people them promote the stuff and sell the stuff. They sell $5 worth, $10 worth, because people want food. People want food. You know they come want food? Buy the mango, buy me. Ras, you want mango. You got what people want to eat. If not, the go outside. Just pull the belly, come back in, and then food will run out. More people coming from a ticket. Me say, I don't use a ticket to get the samples for free here and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But these are things that need. You have to, when you're at these events, you have to observe, you know. The entertainment, brilliant. Garlic, big up yourself. The youth man take picture. Somebody I forgot the name again. When name? Yeah. Mark. Yeah. Mark, man. Mark, big up yourself. Yeah, man. All the entertainment and point, my boy Smudge, Carly kick it off with the music. So Mark, come on, keep it up. and it with a little soca, merengue kind of vibes, you know what I mean, Spanish vibes, and then Smudge come on and hype it up, keep the music up tempo nice with the soca and so forth, and the crowd. So big up the music part, that was good. But there's a lot. The most important thing, me brethren, the farm got to start on time. And so right now, for me, I would have to say they need to give up people some money. That's how me feel, because a lot of people I know is disgruntled about this thing. You understand? On my end, brilliant. You understand? They always enjoy themselves around the displays and stuff like that. I just don't put down mangoes and they make sure go the way to get mango different sizes, so people are wow, because they didn't know mango comes at certain size, the names, and then someone come with the different type of name from. So people from all over, St. Lucia, from Botswana, India, America, just all over the place, Kenya, Nigeria, and then you had a news anchor, Alex Holly, who is on the morning Philadelphia News, have her own show and stuff like that, and do a lot of traveling around and in between the community, and very nominated person as an anchor person from out of Missouri and stuff like that. So she was one of their celebrity guests there who come to. So from the Friday, I've been interacting with her, and she loved my energy, and when it comes to, and she loved mangoes also, which was beautiful. And then she come back this Sunday, definitely look for me again and take some pictures and get some information, and then brought one of her friends to get a sample of the mangoes also. So all the interaction on my end, because this is something even at the agriculture department, I always love any events that I'm interacting with the public, whether it's displaying small garden or the food festival, because most people have to interact, because they come there, they want to learn, they want to know where they can get information from, and why they're not fruiting. So it's not just showing mangoes. It's a whole education going on at the same time. And then the whole table is flat, so they have to move from left to right, keep moving. So from I get there, I don't stop until I don't move from by my boat until everything comes down to like after 5, when the entertainment start. Only then I can get to where some people start to get to the entertainment. But from I get it from the morning and set up from 9:30, my work start from since me reach right down until basically whatever mangoes left, I just left them then and give them away. So I may put in the work. Me not somebody put in the work, but I made there from morning. You see me to show you. Everybody has to come late. You understand? And that's nobody can dispute nothing me say. Nobody can, and that's been going on for years. Ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. So I don't understand why they keep saying early lime, why they keep saying starting at 1, and the vendors them setting up all at 1, 30 minutes to 2 after 2. Me not dig that. That's not supposed to happen, Virgin. This thing are going for too long. I can run next year if they want to hire me. I'll take half the pay, wherever they pay now. You understand? But no band supposed to have mic check and a this and a that, and band man pan stage a tone to tone, a fine tune and engineer. Play music, Virgin. Them things supposed to do the Saturday the night before. You know what I mean? Wherever I figure out the part there. But not tuning on a time when music supposed to play. Music supposed to be playing 9 o'clock, 9:30 the latest. If a function starting, 11 o'clock. So what's the purpose of these things? Yeah. So what you paying for? What you're paying for? Yes, some will have a good time and dance, and everything is different. But professionally wise, you're not getting the true service. Okay? I can speak like that. You understand? Me not got nobody hold it. I'm just giving an overview, and that is how you learn. You see what I mean? Anybody come there and say, Ross, I do like how this is or wherever it is. I come on my farm by something. I guarantee what I do. I exchange it, and that's it. But what is going on right there is serious communication problems, a lot of lack of professional. I mean, no call me from the last year. Back, you called me already. Yesterday. Today is Tuesday. Called me yesterday. Yes, I appreciate. I mean, you're coming through on your professionalism and entertaining the crowd and people loving you, and just like that. And I tell you, I appreciate that. You understand? And that's it. Always early. Nobody can dispute that. No issues on my part. So if I have to follow if I don't be early, people come there sitting down on the benches, they will come around me and they be entertained. And that's what happens all the time. So whatever my fees are, they have to pay, because I'm a brand. So whatever my fees are, they don't have no issue with me paying it. Because if they have an issue with paying my fees, me don't have to find somebody else. Because when everybody just show up late and me a hold on the food for the Mango Festival, all the years, I am always early. Early. If something start 11 me there before 9:30, don't set up Virgin. Something's the Friday start 1 o'clock, me done there by 10 o'clock, don't set up. And when me there, me watch everybody come in and set up when it start. You understand? 1 o'clock and people are coming. 1 or 2 vendors come, but the US them still not. I mean, that's how you work. Time is time. You know what I'm saying? Time is time. We gotta be better, do things better than that. Because you see what you have to realize, the community that the expert community and those who come in from the visitors them, they pan time, The locals they might not be at time. But the visitors them who come for the festival, the music fest, and those at Island they exact on time, my virgin. Exactly on time. When they're ready to come in to enjoy this thing. So we have to fix this Caribbean thing, start late and be professional in these things. That is my take on the Mango Festival. But apart from that, I mean, I enjoy myself by fixing those little tweaker things. But as you see, it's going bigger and bigger, and I look forward for next year. Mango Festival as usual. I mean, I tried what I was told to do a mango pickle by a good friend of mine. So to use some green full mango and add some salt and pepper and stuff like that. So I used some different varieties and taste of pepper, and it was a big hit the Friday. People love ask for the recipe, and somebody called me, want me to make some for them. I do it the Sunday. Same people keep coming back for it and stuff like that. Just love it. So I give thanks. You understand? So I got to big up Devin. You understand? Smitten for giving me that idea and stuff like that. So now next year I'll do something different when it comes to you know what I mean? Instead of just tasting the mango, they have something to put some flavor in the mouth and these things. But yes, son, we have the tourism department and have something special when it comes to the Mango Festival. And they need to nurture it. They need to make sure people are getting their money worth. It's at a standard now. No, these things shouldn't be happening. Everything's supposed to drive smooth, no complaining, 1 or 2, but not too much complaining. Food ain't supposed to be running out. You can come anytime you want and should be able to get in food, a sample, whatever it is, and allow them to sell. So they can really, it's been going on long enough where you reach your point, you cannot charge them money like the food fare, whatever it is, and the people that make a money. So for the next 9 years to 20 years, let them make a money. Nothing wrong with that. You see what I mean? Because they're talking about it, eh? So I don't know if they need to write these letters to the tourism department and get these things in place, because, and if they need to, if that's, but then there is something that they want, because they're mumbling about it and stuff like that. So, but overall, for me, I might interrupt on my observation, out of 10, because of these hiccups and so forth, I'll give it an 8, because you understand, it's a good product, but it could have been a 10. I'd rather give a 10 than an 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough. Now, I must say 2 things. I love your total critical analysis of the entire event. You looked at the pros and the cons, and
next thing too. Let me add one more. Cause I observed this, and the VIP was up on the main stage, all right, and then the stage, like the building, the VIP was by Carambola. I observed that, and then they have the bar next to me, way down from the center, basically where I was, where along under the tourism tent, where they're selling the products and stuff like that. One of the most busiest tents. So if you understand how busy that tent my day was, from being 10 o'clock until throughout the whole day. And then next to me was where they had the demonstration. So I'm in the center of the demonstration and the bar. The place, too much of people to have one bar. You need to have 2 bars. You need a bar more up, closer to the where you have the VIP carry crowd stretch out through the whole park. You see what I mean? So it's too small to have 1 bar. And then through the demonstration, the DJ need to work with the person on the mic, where you can have music playing soft in the background. You can't have demonstration going on. And when them a cook and the man up on the mic attack, it's just pure silence. It's people chattering and stuff like that. No, that shouldn't be happening. You see what I mean? You got the music and stuff, and so forth. You still have people moving around, enjoying. Can anybody go and be around the cooking area? Because we have thousands of people in there, you know. So you're only going to have those who want into that, go and look and whatever. Because they still look up on the big screen and so forth through the park. Many now leave this party, go come back and get up off a bench and they get back the seat and the bench, you know. So the music need to be play. You see what I mean? Need to be playing like on sport days and so forth. And then you got to come in. You can't just have silent for a while throughout the whole demonstration over hour or more and stuff like that. So that is something they need to always also look at. And plus, but overall, the entertainment with the masquerade. I always love masquerade. You know what I mean? The cultural act. That's one of my thing as a youth, going up masquerade and stuff like that, and the clowns and all those stuff. And got to also big up Dandy. Earlier, play a lot of music before they come out with the band and so forth throughout the day. Keep the music live, you know what I mean? Madlings, big up yourself, Dandy, and also still playing music, still help out with the tent with tourism, packing out the stuff and all them stuff, and then still going up on the Maca drum stick throughout when the band them playing and moving around. So yeah, man, then they did it doing everything. You know what I'm saying? You gotta big up the youth helping out, involved in everything, still on this stage, playing music, and then they need somebody on the mic to go around to each of these areas that showcasing the stuff for tasting and speak about what they I mean, how to get a little interview with them and stuff like that. All those things goes a long way. You get to hear who the vendors them are, and you hear them. Cause remember, you have people new there all the time, and what their treat is and stuff like that, and where the business is located. So those are some of the small things that I see. So as I said, yes, and they can consult me, you know. And I guarantee they will start on time. Must start on time. You see what I mean? So something need to be worked out next year in a sense like that way. Because people really come there to eat, and come there to spend money. That's what people come to the place for. You see what I mean? Eat, have fun, and spend money.
Well,
Yes.
you know, Banky, as I was saying, you know, it's two things that I wanted to comment on when I listened to you, And I began by saying, one, you know, your critical analysis of the entire event, not just looking at the good side of it, but also critiquing the things that you think could improve, right?
Of
and
course.
that's one. Now, the other aspect that I commend you for as well is the fact that, you know, you demonstrate to the masses that even though some of our people may want to feel that because they may come here and they hear us critiquing whether it is the actual ministers of government or sometimes the entire ministry or sometimes the government itself in relation to things that, especially where agriculture is concerned. We on the topics we talk about kind of different topics too. So we may criticize different segments of government and so on.
Of course.
But what I am glad that you're demonstrating is the fact that even though we may critique these things, the fact that when the time comes for us to show that true patriotism and represent the love of country and represent the love of what we do speak about in terms of, you know, promoting agriculture, promoting anything cultural and anything to promote Nevis, you are there front and center. So for those who may want to,
1000%,
right, and so that's what I'm saying. I'm glad that it is demonstrated in that, because, you know, when things don't go well and are going a certain way, we are the first to come and criticize. And also, we are demonstrating too that when things are supposed to happen and we are called upon to represent, we represent. And if it is something to promote, we also put ourselves in the position to promote. Because as well, that was the Mango Fest. You participated in the Mango Fest. They would have had the breadfruit affair. We would have been there to promote it, giving them the opportunity to come on the platform, the breadfruit festival the same way. And so whatever activities, and we have an open door policy to the Ministry of Agriculture. I mean, we have never had the minister on, but we would have had other members of the ministry from time to time. And it's an open door policy. They know that at any time they can come. And when we say the ministry, we're not just talking the NIA, the Nevis Island government. We are also open because we would have had in the past, and we are still open to having any member of the agricultural ministry.
We had Sean Richards before, and then we had Samuel Duggan. We had a few ministers from St.
Right, and then we have the PS Miguel Fleming and so on. So
exactly.
I'm just showing that to demonstrate. And the cannabis side would have had Garfield Alexander back then when he was the CMO.
Yes, and how we're doing, we are just educating the general public. Can we be fair and balanced? And they gotta be fair and balanced. This is what the country need, and a media that is fair and balanced and critical view and holding anyone accountability. I hold myself accountable, yes, son. I've been doing this Mango Festival almost 9 years, 8, maybe most of it. Okay, so I'm always there early. I'll throw the department and me deal with it most of the time. From my reaching the department in 2010, I made deal because I know mangoes, I love mangoes, and then I realized this stuff shy. So okay, everything is banky. You see what I mean? So it's whatever. You understand? But then you're meeting people, and it's not just about mangoes. You see what I mean? And then I got a big up Verlene from Door from Brownhill, because she was always have that interest in being and helping out and stuff like that. So I used to get her from agro processing to tag along with me, and then my cousin Thema that work in physical planning. I'm not sure if it's our environment now. You understand? She'll come in from when she see me and assist and start to help out sometimes. So I'll also come in when they do see me more time and help out. You gotta big them up. You see what I mean? Because there are someone come around and just don't move. You see? And just stick around because they love the vibe, how people come around all the time and excited about mangoes. And so it's something that I enjoy doing. You understand? Because we got to be professional. But I realize we live in a small space where people take things personal a lot. I'm not that kind of person. You see what I mean?
Well, Banky,
I'm not into that.
That was the reason.
Yes.
That was the reason why I sought to highlight that point so that we can get more people to understand the way we operate, in the sense that we hold them accountable. It's nothing personal. We hold them accountable, especially where agriculture is concerned, because it is one of our main areas of interest, and we are very passionate about it. And we would hold anybody if tomorrow, and as I keep telling even you, Banky, if tomorrow you get elected as the Minister of Agriculture and you're in there and you now pull up your socks, me come here and pressure you the same way, and it's nothing personal. So that's the other reason why I said I'm going to highlight that so people can understand that even though they hear us here,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
We may critique the minister, we may critique whoever the directors be and whoever the past ministers and whatever. But at the end of the day, it is nothing personal. It is because we want the best for that industry. And if things are not going right, and we see things, because the other thing too, the other thing too, we don't just criticize. We give suggestions and we show. We demonstrate by showing this is what can happen if we do X, Y, or Z. Go ahead now. Sorry, I just wanted to get that in.
I work with tourism for years, and the Devon know I sit there, they'll call me, I go in the office and sit and we reason, and I give my ideas and ask and whatever and stuff. And so, Bank, you sure you get mango? Mr. Watcher, man, I work on our part. Let me worry about my part. You see what I mean? Let me do the worry. Me not worry, I know worry. That is not our part to worry about. This is my part. Make sure I am straight and miss straight. I don't fail. That don't exist. I don't use, my children don't use those words. You see what I mean? I ain't gonna take up no responsibility and come and go show to mango and can't speak. It don't make no sense, because we are sure this thing is a brand. You see what I mean? And I'm a brand at the same time, because there are people who come just to look for me and just come to eat mango and just to stick out, and they come back 5 and 10 times throughout the day. All the time. We ask me back again, you know. What you got for us? Just all the time. These people who travel from Antigua, people come from the US, Boston. They don't have a clue about the people. And then plus you meet all these different bloggers, and then I interact with them and stuff like that. You see, so it's just, then it just, you build a relationship with people over the years. There's what people come to the farm since from the Friday back into the Saturday, and to the truth, there are people coming on the farm, looking mangoes, looking this, just can't believe how the farm look, and amazed. You see? So it's just by interacting with people and how you're dealing with them. Because people, you don't know who is watching you, you know. You see what I mean? You just don't know who is watching you. So when you're in the public presence and stuff like that, you got to always act your best and be professional. So there's a lot of work need to be done within management part and stuff like that. because you want to have a staff that is very, when they're out, they're happy and no frustration. But I can see the frustration within the staff. I'm not sure what's going on with inside there and stuff like that. But you can see the tension between the one in charge, Mr. Mills, and the staff itself and different people. I don't know. It's just too much around, and I'm around it, so I could see it. I could feel the tension. You see what I mean? But that is not my thing. But if somebody have to mention it and call it out because I want it to be solved, I'm the one going to talk about it because I want these issues to be solved. Because when people moving around, they will and they observe, they will see. You need to be engaged and everybody on the same page. Because people going to ask a question. Well, what this going to go? And what this? I mean, you understand? No. Once you're working together, everybody will be able to answer these simple questions and stuff like that. You see what I mean? Because what's going on there is just like setting up agriculture openly. It's the same. It's a big activity with a lot more vendors. So I know what it takes and the frustration these things take and stuff like that. But then people shouldn't have to see certain things I don't know who watching. You understand? These are, of course, you can say eye to eye and stuff. That is fine, but still, you can't be. At the day of working, you shouldn't be that tense. At the activity, you should be relaxed and just having fun and smiling. Cause you can't 1 minute you're vexed, and the next minute you smile up because the brain the function. So because you can't switch off unless you understand your different ways and just work like that. So it's too much pressure, and so these are things I would love to see we fix, and they need whatever the problem they have internally or whatever. They need to resolve these things and stuff like that because it's not good. And you can see these things affecting the festival and stuff like that. Because if you've been working, being professional, everything will start on time. Music, nobody with their mic checking, nobody with their banner fine tune. The vendors, they may coming in after 1, 2 o'clock set up. Them things should not be happening. So the only thing that's set up first, me, and then the areas underneath where they're selling the products. So I got to build the tourism authority. They will display. They make sure our way set up. So me and them got the set up. They got more stuff than me. So at least they can finish when we done set up. So them are practically set up within the same. So them they're ready. But at the same time, people ready to buy, they can't sell because they don't got the money. Got your float. Don't lose no sale. Yeah, me not like that neither. If one person come and you set up, no one stuff to buy, no, you're not ready yet. Sell. We mean not ready yet. Sell. The people do not lose money. You know what I'm saying? So these things. Always have your float when you set up. Okay, people will come, you set up, people want stuff to buy. Don't say you start 1 o'clock to sell. Nonsense that. You set up, sell this stuff them. You see what I mean? So these are things that need to fix. From you come, people want stuff 11 o'clock. The lemons my lime, so you can't say you sell 11 at 1 o'clock. That don't make no sense. so the early lemons gonna buy nothing. What do you mean they gonna get mango to eat? So you gotta sell. Once you're setting up, you come early lamb. So I want next year, your son.
That was one of the critiques that I would have heard in listening to some of the talk shows, and so after the Mango Fest and so on. These are some of the complaints in terms of the tickets. I haven't
listened any talk shows. So I don't know what's going on and the media. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I would have heard. A lot of people said that the event was good, except for that, and they were saying that happened. I think a year before, or something like that. And they were saying, they would have thought that is something that they would fix. And in terms of the recommendation that you are making, in terms of allowing people to sell inside there and so on, so that in the event that the tickets run out and so on, that at least people could still purchase or buy something, things like that. So I do.
I would love them to eliminate. I would love them to eliminate. Do not want anybody outside to sell on the street. Bring them in. Let us come inside. Put them in an area by themselves. Then, you understand? Set them, but bring in everybody. No vendors outside. Period. Everybody inside the compound. Outside for parking on the road or whatever. But the vendors out there sell. Who want to come in? You charge them a fee. Because be inclusive and still have it as a beautiful, nice product.
Yes.
You understand? Yes. And make it bigger and better and everybody inclusive. Because that's where it's at right now. It's such a big event. Yes, it's a beautiful event, and it's an event you can step in the act. It can't, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger if they listen and take the right listening for the general public and suggestions and stuff like that. Because you have a lot of room to grow and people love it. People that have traveling all over the world coming for Sydney, Australia, and all these places, and people watching, people really watching and enjoying
But
it.
I wonder about a couple of things. I wonder about our ability in terms of marketing because, okay, I mean, the music festival would have been over the years, have become such a big event. People come from all over the world. And then plus this year made it even a bit more interesting having Vybz Kartel after he was free after 13 years and wanted to be seen by so many people all over the world, right? As a headliner. It created a lot of buzz and it brought a lot of people to the federation. What I'm thinking is in terms of marketing. Why are we not seeking to, from the Nevis side, along with the federal government, develop a strategy where they twin the two products? So, people a lot of the times, in terms of the vacation, you'd have to take these things in advance. So you get the 2 weeks and you're able to enjoy the music festival and then you're able to enjoy the mango festival. So at least you could plan, market and promote the events in such a way that the two of them get that kind of promotion. And then at the same time, when
so you mean you could do it in the same week?
No. Hear what I'm saying? Most people, when they're taking their vacation in the US, and so they get about 2 weeks. So what I'm saying,
yes.
you're able to get the music festival week, and then you have the other week planned that now you could stay on and enjoy the music. The mango festival, and then go back.
Of course.
So they can plan and advertise and market. Put together a budget, maybe a twin budget, and promote that. And then the other thing,
of course,
music festival would have been a good place also to do a lot of promotion for Culturama. So I think they missed the boat a bit on that in terms of using the music festival.
I know they did some advertising for the Mango Festival on the screen, I think. I heard about that, but I'm not sure if any was done for Culturama. Because I wasn't paying too much attention to the music festival thing, that ain't my thing really, because when you're done, we talk about that.
During music festival, Anguilla was in Nevis promoting the carnival, Sorry, in St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla was on Freedom and other radio stations up here trying to promote the carnival, Okay.
You see, that's smart marketing. That's smart marketing strategy because they want people in the island. Yes.
Anguilla came to St. Kitts and Freedom promoting the festival and the boat racing and all that and all the activities and so on. So that is why I'm saying we are missing the boat because look where Nevis is.
Yes.
So that's the comment that I'm making on the marketing and advertising and so on, and how serious we are about these kind of events.
You see, the reason why we won't keep having these things, because yes, we're one federation, but the Nevis have its own autonomy over of a lot of stuff, whether it's agriculture, tourism, education, just not really the security, which is federal in a sense. So if they do collaborate sometime, but I guess each is responsible for, can you see, plus you're looking at who got the most money to spend, because really there's not a local sinking government. So the federal government, which is St. Kitts, got any amount of money to do what you want. It's not like you have a budget as well. This is the budget and the money allocated from the tax. You understand? That's not the case. So,
Banky, I don't think, to me, I am not necessarily, I may be wrong and I stand to be corrected, but I'm not necessarily seeing so much the money side of it as much as I am seeing just the ability to say, hey, let's find a way to collaborate and use each product to pick back each other, because at the end of the day, the overall spin-off affects the economy of the federation.
All these CEO, all these smart people know these things. Who get all this big money amount of time, do not know these simple things you talk about. So
the same argument that is being made for the music festival It's the same argument that is being made for Culturama, you know, that it is a festival that is held in a downtime when the tourism industry is slow, and so it helps to spin off the economy and you know, because people are coming in, heads in beds, restaurants will make money, taxi drivers will make money, car rental will make money. All of these, because all of these is the argument that is made for music festival as an activity during that time. So that is why I'm saying it only takes, I'm not talking collaboration in terms of the money side of things, but collaboration in terms of planning and seeking to ensure that both islands who are part of the federation can benefit from activities that should stimulate the economy, which will help benefit the overall federation as a whole.
Navy's politician feared sinking people. Because so. They feared sinking people, you know, see, all the time. And the Navy people go sink it, go live. They don't come back at Navy's, you know. They don't deal with Navy's people. Make an the truth. Virgin, I met a lady there. And she tell me she not come on Navy's and she was first and second day she come on Navy's. I'll never sing it just right this or so. And he got family over here. Amazing. Amazing Virgin. With a lot of them, I don't know where this mentality come from, where the Navy's men them afraid of singing man and all singing people listen to the bad madness. I mean, where you come from.
Well,
you understand?
A lot of it is continued and perpetuated by the politicians who seek to keep that divide and rule game.
Yes.
Sometimes when you really analyze the average people between Sinkits and Nevis, they don't have these issues, you know, because the average people will tell you, my mother from Nevis, and my grandmother, and my uncle, and my auntie, and you listen to stories of places like Newtown and Canary and them places there. And Nevis building places there, Canary and Newtown, and so pure Nevis people building places there.
Make sure how brave they be, some of them be. I used to go Sinkit, and some of them have different in the agriculture department, and don't have different varieties of plants available. So, you know, me like a plant big. So, me go escape boy, me spend money I buy $100 worth of stuff. You know what they tell me? I need this man to come here buy a power stuff, me not selling them about things. This about what is? About this up to the general public? Yes, me not selling about mango. I had to go to the PS, which was Stanley at the time as a virgin. Okay, Nanya? Yes, because this is reality and these things exist. Me not live in an environment and act like me not know what environment living in a virgin. You understand? Me not live like that. Me not be naive in my environment. We gotta let go a lot of things and stop carrying on things that been put in your head about when they put me in a school. I'm in school to put me on stage, go talk about and give pepper in your rice and bone in your soup and them nonsense there, and they can't prove. So I would love to know the preacher who put that line. Remember and tell me that, make me say that. You see? Because these are what generational instilling things and make having you saying things and they can't prove it. So because of them coming in Honey and Bracha, but from then they didn't know. They said me go research Honey and Bracha. You see? Till I got books of Bracha and I got books with Simeon Daniel. That's how we instill when you do to a youth. When you put youth to got things on stage, say things that they know and they don't know about, to go educate himself, go research this person. So and that is what I did. So I know better. As an adult, so I can't tell my youth and them, oh, see, I ain't into that. They can't pull our stuff. But yes, son, we got to go better and we got to have a better relationship. We are one people, but the politician them is dividing us against each other, and that is not right. When them alone are smiling and drink out the same cup. All of my friend, and the Navy side and the sinking side. Because growing up, I never saw what's going on all this thing before. All you hear all this negativity about Navies, we don't get involved in singing politics. But look how all them don't let them now. You see what I mean? That's what it is. So if we're going to be getting along as a people, we're going to do it right. And if somebody Navies is the federal minister, you choose your PS who you want. Nobody could, like the last time, somebody and give you a PS. I mean, you work like us, so you choose, every minister chooses that want to be the PS and directors and stuff like that. You can't be hand down people, stuff like that. You can't be functioning like that. So that's why I'm telling you, these leaders up here, they're afraid sinking politician down there. That's the reality. You see the staff. You can see it. Yeah.
Think it's a movies. So that's the um, Mango Fest slash music festival review.
No, me not with the music.
Um,
Me not with the music festival, you know. Me not done with that
okay,
because rule number
let's say the
one.
music festival. Yes.
Yeah, because you see, we have a situation where we don't have an age. When we could talk about what we know, if you say age 18 is an adult, all right, then you got this thing at age 16, you can give consent. You have music festival. You have 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old going out to dance into a music festival with the parents. Especially going to most of these shows, which is rated XXXXX. That's what these shows are about. Most of them, especially Friday night show with Spice, and then they had the Friday night with this girl Sensia, whoever. But over even the Francis may grow up, there is not a limit to go into a club or buy alcohol and all these things. And this is 2025. You see what I mean? These things should not be happening. So you have adults partying with underage high school children and stuff like that, and they're drinking alcohol. I hear Batinas tell me it's a young guy, and he said, "How old I be?" And they want guineas and they sell them. You see what I mean? And I just listen to this conversation. These are what goes on in the music festival. So you think the government them don't know? They don't have an age limit and asking for IDs? So when all of these adults on the radio praising the music festival, oh, it's so beautiful and it's so this and so that. Me not got nothing to say. Me talk about what is should not be happening in the beginning. You cannot have young people. I have a 15-year-old upstairs, 14-year-old. So she go in the music festival, go watch Spice and the Cartel, and got a shit show on a stage, and I talk about one thing to the next and all kind of things and this don't make no sense, brethren. What are we really saying? Yes, you hear me keep talking about this age of consent, and then the music festival, the biggest thing ever. Children in the party with adults smoke or drink rum, everything. So who not talk about that? Nobody check ID. And then you hear the chief of police. You can walk with your 50, your 5 joint. Well, the 14 will walk with the 5 joints too. Can I check ID? You see, that is the reality. So who dropped the ball? So nobody see these things. So they need to be a part to organize these things too of the what you call it then? What you say name again? The music festival. So they need to be a part of the music festival committee for consultation to make sure before the year done, they're going to parliament and pass an age for 18 to drink, 18 to party, 21 to drink. The driver's license need to have an under age 21 in a red. And you must show ID when you go buy alcohol, any tobacco products. You need to have ID to show these things are alcohol product. These are craziness, brethren. So a lot of things me not entertain when you see all these politicians and talking and they're not addressing these things. Why we're not addressing these things? We're living in a place that, we have minister of ecclesiastic. You see, they not fight the rum head them. They not fight the wine head. They not fight the cigarette smokers, but not fight the herb. So how the herb will make me see all these things so clearly for what it is? Me see things, that's why you see me now go music festival. Because I observed the first time I went when they had Burning Spear, that long time, when it was up by done by the taken by Fort Thomas. And Burning Spear come out till about 4:30 in the morning. You say madness this. Virgin Music Festival is supposed to finish by 12:30. Started 6 o'clock. By 12:30, latest it finish. And then you have other fringe events on the beach or here and wherever to the crowd to spread out and other people make money. Not one place, lock it down. So when the people are going, they stop in until 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. A madness that, virgin. Them events, I go to shows with a lot more people than them there. In all kind of parks, in Doniel and show you shut down the show them everybody perform early. This thing where you go, nah man. Event done 12:30, 1 o'clock latest, and the other fringe events people start go to other fringe events and party down till morning. That's how these things supposed to go. Start the show 6 o'clock. If you start 5 o'clock, is nothing. I go to show for 5 o'clock and so forth and the kind of vibes, virgin. This mentality, we have to get out this mentality. People come to have fun, to go to these shows. You see what I mean? Get out of this local mine and then don't finish the shows them early. 12:30 out of the park and I got to different fringe event where the in town have action over on this strip. This the crowd spread out. You see what I mean? And other people get a chance to make money. Yes, sir, and I'm open for consultant, you know. If they need ideas, you know, I've been promoting a long time since the 18, you know, the shows all over the place. You understand? So I understand the schematics and stuff like that. They're not saying the money could be spent more people can make money out of these things. But the time when the shows are finished is not good.
So we're gonna finish. Set up the consulting company.
Yes, son.
Anyway, let's get back. Get back to regular programming. What we say? That's a light moment.
Light moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for real, man. I mean, these things. I mean, I'm giving free consulting for now, you know. But if they need,
So that's what I'm saying. So we're gonna set up the company that you know, we can really charge for it, you know. But yeah, so on a real, you know, we're giving, as you said, free advice, and it's really for the betterment of the things that we are doing. I mean, Banky, that's the thing, you know. Some of them might think we're old school, and you know, our experience with that is concerned, and not that we, you know, were a part of promotion and organizations and these kind of activities. I worked pretty early, even with the person who presently bring in a number of the artists for music festival, Lexi Books. That's one of my associates for a number of years. Prior to her getting that gig, I used to work with her when she used to bring in a lot of the different artists, you know, bring in Elephant Man, I mean, Beanie Man, Ding Dong, I mean, the whole crew back then, you know, Barry Salmon, Turbulence, you know, a whole heap of artists back in them time, you know, and we did a lot of shows back in those days that led up to her credibility to be able to deliver when it comes to artists. Because if it was one thing, when it comes to shows that we promoted, we delivered. Sometimes you would have had people say they bring in artists and artists didn't show up and so on, but we had that credibility, and I used to represent her a lot in terms of on the Nevis side, selling the tickets on Nevis and so on. My last major show would have been Busy Signal 2009 with my brother who passed the other day, Ibal, and I think he had a relative in the US who was the, you know, major financer for that you know, project. But these are some of the things that we would have. So when it comes to doing these events, even, you know, I am not seeing anything or hearing anything in terms of the International Night event for Culturama. That was something that I used to be very much involved in. You know, hosted a number of these, you know, emceed a number of these shows, and was very much instrumental in organizing, you know, those sort of events, which I think is something that really needs to be revived, that International Night during Culturama, because it kind of gave that alternative option to some of the artists on the island who don't necessarily get that recognition which is needed at that time, which brings us to a topic that I think we really should discuss, because I think that when it comes to Culturama, we only think of Calypso and Soca, and a lot of the other artists who perform other genres of music are sidelined. They don't get that much recognition, whether it's hardcore reggae, whether it is dancehall, whether it is rap, hip hop, you know, whatever it is, whatever other genre of music is sometimes just shoved aside. And I think that it is time that the Culturama create that space. And when I was a part of the International Night, that was the kind of mindset that I had in terms of creating and pushing that night. My thinking was that night should have gotten to a point eventually where we don't even have to bring in an international artist. That we should be able to build our artists to the point where you have people like the Byron Messiahs and so on who could really hold on a show, the Bijous, and who could hold on a show on their own. And if anything, when we talk international, it would have been bringing back some of our homegrown artists who would have made it out there internationally, whether it is the the Carlisle Paris them or the Ras Ibo Howell at the time or the Rasa Buddha and other of our artists who Fella Million and all of these other artists who would have made it out there internationally to bring them back to perform along with the other homegrown artists to help build that audience. And so I do think that we really need to seek to find a way to give more credence to these other artists so that they themselves too can feel appreciated and be embraced in the culture. The culture is not limited to soca and calypso. Reggae influence our culture, hip hop influence our culture, R&B influence our culture, and so all of those avenues and areas of the culture, I think, should be embraced and pushed forward. The sound system, there was a point where they used to have the DJ clash or the DJ competition, and there are sound systems now, so they could, incorporate a sound clash and so on. And these are things, Banky, as we speak of these things, apart from just adding other events, there can be revenue spin-offs and so on for the Culturama, where you have diverse, because you're seeking to appeal to a diverse audience, and it's not all of the people who necessarily just want to hear soca and calypso for the entire week or 2 weeks of Culturama. There are people who also appreciate good reggae music. I remember years when Ras Bingi came back from the US and started getting back his studio in operation and so on. For a couple of years, Bingi produced albums around Culturama. Well, the man was a galbum, and they didn't deal with the album business. But created music during the Culturama season that was not necessarily soca or calypso, but were more reggae oriented. There was one I remember that had a kind of steel pan flavor, and another one I think at one point had a kind of big drum where he created some rhythms and had various artists singing on the rhythms and so on, but never really got the push because they're not deemed calypso or they're not deemed soca, and so during that time you don't get much airplay of any other thing. And I think it's time for us to shift that mindset and start and seek to embrace all of our artists, whether it is, Delano or, Nelius or whoever else we have around, Sky Sean and all of these other artists who were around back in those times, Yanni and all of these, other artists who would have been doing other things outside of, soca and dance, soca and calypso. So we really need to find ways to help to propel our artists. And I think Culturama should be a great time. If any time of the year that these artists should be getting some sort of recognition, it is at that time. And so it is just something that I'm putting on the table as I make my observations as well, Banky.
Well, I'm not sure on why they ended the International Artist Night, but I know there was one time when they had this reggae artist, where he probably did a show, and when he come, he was hosty and stuff like that. So it didn't, and then they had promised to refund. Who was that artist? You remember, you know who I mean, right?
I remember the incident, but I don't remember who the artist was.
Richie Spice.
Okay.
Yes. What he didn't perform as his best because he was host and stuff like that, and then they had to apologize because people complain a lot and don't it. I mean, I think they should have given people the money, and then from then it just went downhill. You should have if the meditation, but people do love the International Artist Night, so it is something which I think was a big fall, but then they put in the 5-in-1. The 5-in-1 can still keep. It's not have nothing to do with the International Artist Night, but you still have a lot of local acts. I could even local acts to do a show. You have enough artists in St. Kitts and Nevis can do a show,
That was the intent, and that was where I was going. So that's why I was saying I was hopeful that eventually you could have gotten to the point where you don't need to bring national artists, because the whole idea for me, I just saw the international artists as to help bring the crowd out, but the rest of the show should have been filled with your top 5, 10 artists. You see, look how you have eliminations for the Culturama. What should have happened is, you know, you have all throughout the year, you have all these little village festivals and so on, and then you'll be scouting your top, let's say 10 artists that will lead up to, let's say, a couple months before the Culturama, and then you have a show where maybe the audience is able to pick the top 5 or 6 or 5 best artists to perform. And then they now will be looking forward to get that opportunity to perform.
Yes, son. We have artists, man. We have enough artists to go on the show from year to year. Them things that are needed. We don't pass them stage. They are highlight. You got Infamous. You have this. You have that. You have then guy. Scratchy Bam. You got that kind of artists, Virgin. We have a lot of artists. You got a young kid, Isaiah Youth. We don't even know most of them young, but they have a lot of artists, a lot of local acts who very. You just need to be out there, and Culturama is a good time to them can be the Culturama local act and call it whatever give it a proper name. They figure it out. Me not get people to think, but let that night they be to showcase because the Virgin, the man them have a real talent, you know. And if the youth them realize the talent that they have while they're fighting against each other, it don't need to be no negativity between nobody in the music. I take and crap because this once everyone get to it and I partner with it or but I fight against each other, it's harder for I to collaborate. You see, and when you fight against each other, are we going to do a kill off each other and nobody win? You see, when I could be making money, they got to see the bigger picture, Virgin, because then who own most of these labels you are trying to get on? Check it out. You ain't have nobody who look like us own a record, these big record labels. What are they? So these are things you need to get and work with it and hold one head if you want to really make it. You see what I mean? But be smart about it because it's business. We have enough talent around here, my boy. But you see how they go up, but then the internet, they remember certain artists will still, people travel because they have their fans, millions of followers. The people travel to go, like people travel to go to cricket. The people travel to look for, to eat mango, to be part of this festival, travel for carnival. And the people travel to follow their fans, wherever artists they're going to go perform. So it brings people into the country. You see what I mean? So, but the main thing have to be around, so running the local acts. Nothing wrong in bringing an international act. But one of them, no more than 2, and the rest of them are pure local acts. And they can perform within the time when the local acts are performed too. They not perform last. You see? They're going to fill in the middle, and then the local acts come on after and end the show. Because the people not going away. And then they could be there and enjoy the US part of the show same way. You can not go away. Your thing is to stay and mingle. You see what I mean? That's what me bring it far. Not come and lock up in a hotel. You come go to the schools, you go here, you walk on the bars, and you mingle. When they perform, you go back a hotel and up then I got one part. No, me not bring here for that. No. When I bring in artists like BS Odyssey and Screen G, you understand? And Mark and them man for Independence Bashment in 97 Upper Block East. They have to go half serious, they go curry by my mom, I make me Virgin and them, I make me school. You see what I mean? You gotta mingle with the people, go on the tongue and lime and this Saturday and whatever and chill, go up and down the place, see the place. When we bring in my boy Adonai and bring over Van Radio, interview you, and you interview him the same way. You gotta, yeah, so much to show you. I saw you do things that in a hotel lie down and a play important. You got to make that's how the people come out because you want and then have book signing to meet the people. Carter should have a book signing or whatever it is. You understand? And different vibes. Bring them on the radio, whatever. And that's you're supposed to do them things there. Yes, and we got a caller.
Yes, sir.
Caller, good evening. All right. Caller, you can call back. I'm sorry about that. But that is how these things should be happening when you bring in all these artists, and there should be a part of the community and go different places, and you see what I mean, and interact with people and that kind of vibe, not just most of them up in a hotel here and there and this and that and whatever. No, me not understand. Me not like that. Get them around the place, some historical places, and that kind of vibe. Some of your local vendors and them and that kind of vibes and so forth. Yeah. Let me see what right now your son. Carlo, good evening. Hello? Hello? Caller? Caller, good evening.
Yeah, man. Good evening, man. How you doing, man?
We good?
Yeah. Great show like usual, man.
Give thanks.
Yeah, but yeah, man. The Mango Fest went off with a bang, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, great job, man. So yeah, man. A couple of observations and a lot of narrative coming out of these fests. But me tonight, I want to contribute on the side where he was talking before about this thing about kids hanging out with adults. I believe we need to. I've heard that there's laws on the books, whether it may be a certain age to smoke, drink, and to go to these adult content shows. We've seen, as a matter of fact, we see there was the prime minister, there was the premier, and there was the leader of Antigua, Gaston Brown. Those three people I know for a fact was present at the music festival. And coming back to the Federation, I wonder how the Premier and the Prime Minister feels to see that they're up at the cartel show or the Spice show or the Sensual show. And then we have this explicit lyrics.
Exactly.
Content
that's the whole point.
being displayed at these events.
Children inside there.
The crowd, they will see some young girls that's like underage.
Yes.
Elementary school. First form, second form in high school.
It's crazy.
13 years old.
It's crazy. And
I wonder how they feel about that.
No, but you see, we have to understand. Parents take their mother who take their daughter, and father who take their son, or take that father who take their daughter to this event. That are the thing. What you say. So them gonna say, well, at the party,
Yeah,
but the authority ain't care. We don't. Right now, you could have people in strip clubs in St. Kitts at any age. It doesn't matter. There's nothing in them force when it comes to these things. Whether it's buying alcohol, whatever. That's
crazy, man.
an underage person could have gone inside there with the spliff the same. When nobody asked for the ID. Who asked for ID?
Exactly. As far as I know, I live in a state called New Jersey, and like back then when I was there, what I could remember, 18 to party,
Yes.
21 to drink,
Yes.
and the clubs and the bars, they close at 2 a.m. At 1:30, the lights got to be coming on.
Yeah, but that's up north.
Otherwise-
Down south, the clubs
Yeah,
the clubs are not gonna attempt to shut down till 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. That's up north in those places. But down south,
back in New Jersey when I was there.
yeah, down south, the stuff go down way down in the morning. Like North Carolina, that's the
right.
time, yeah.
Yeah, so when I look back, man, at Federation, a lot of stuff there seems to be out of control, man. A lot of stuff is not enforced.
Yes.
The law and the judicial system just needs to be tightened up somehow, man. Equal justice and equal rights to all. But if we can't separate the kids from the adults, the kids them just gonna seem like they're growing up too fast. And we've
Okay.
seen a young lady.
But how long is this music festival going on from when? How old is it, Yason, the music festival?
I don't remember the year. I know they mentioned it, but I don't remember how much years. But it's a
You
good
think
while. I
96 started? Is 96 it started?
I think it's 20-something years now. I want to think. I don't remember the year it started, but
Was
It's-
this
it's-
the 27th year or something like that?
2017? So it started 98. So it started 98. Okay.
I'm not gonna,
So remember I telling you, since me a youth, me could go, my grandfather said me go buy cigarette. You understand? So I never said a cigarette.
So somehow,
So nothing changed.
right?
Nothing changed. It's crazy in these times.
a lot of it came down to
we had a
individual.
young lady was found dead, 15-year-old young girl,
Yes.
and I don't know all the circumstances around that, but the parents and the community seems like they have failed that young lady, and we're not going to raise another children community-wise. Or some people said today on the radio station, the community is raising the kids still, but they're just raising them going into the wrong direction. But, you know, the authorities may be, man, they got to look back and, you know, revisit some of these, you know, laws and get these things enforced. It's not a big deal to check IDs at the gate, at the door of some of these events. One of the things that I would recommend is, I heard them talking about electronic and license and stuff like that, right? St. Kitts and Nevis being such a small place, they should totally make the license, the IDs, electronic. That way that's when people even purchase tickets in advance, you scan your ID online, straight up. If you're underage, you won't be able to buy a ticket, like for an adult show. And the spin-off, one of the points, I want a few more points, but let me just get this one point in, like, that I wanted to make before on another show. We look at St. Kitts and Nevis, right, Federation, but somehow along the line, we're not moving together. There was a lady that was on, a travel agent. She was on, I think, was on WinFM, and she is indicating that she thinks St. Kitts and Nevis should be marketed as one entity in terms of a travel destination. It would be better for the Federation on a whole. She don't mind that they can educate the travelers about Nevis separately and St. Kitts separately. But as far as a travel destination goes, it would be better to market St. Kitts and Nevis as an entity. And then there was another lady that was on. I think she was on the Edge. I think that was this morning. I didn't catch that show that much, but that Edge show this morning and that travel agent lady that was on WinFM is two shows that we need to plug into, because they was bringing out some good information. And me personally, right, these are some things that I observed. Nevis, as they're competing, they compete for industries and they compete for other stuff. Nevis and St. Kitts, the one federation. We need to be moving as such instead of individually. So those persons at Nevis who grew up with the mindset of secession, they're still caught up with that secession thought in the head. And then they have people in St. Kitts, like you said earlier, persons move from
Carla dropped out. I'm not hearing the caller anymore.
to stop. That should not be. Time someone says the word St. Kitts, they should automatically have a sleeve attached to it behind, because it's one country. And me personally, St. Kitts and Nevis, right? We should not even say St. Kitts and Nevis no more. St. Kitts Nevis supposed to just be a hyphenated word. To St. Kitts Nevis, that's it. Anytime anybody says St. Kitts, they automatically should say St. Kitts Nevis, and it should be a hyphenated word. That's my idea, right? Okay. On the economic side of things, right? Nevis should not compete with St. Kitts, especially with hotels and that type of stuff. What we need in Nevis, we need some low budget hotels. We need some low budget hotels, right? And Mark and them guys who's in control, they should think about doing that. They should think about developing a district in Nevis with some low budget hotels. You know why? Because it ain't everybody, when they come to an event in St. Kitts, right, they can go at the Marriott. But they don't need to wait until St. Kitts develop the low budget hotels over on St. Kitts. Otherwise, Nevis will be left in the dark totally. They need to bum rush those low budget hotels in Nevis so that when they have the big events in St. Kitts, right, persons who have that low budget, they would maybe think about coming to Nevis.
So Carla,
and shuttle across to St. Kitts for the shows in St. Kitts.
Carla.
You know, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the last thing I might want to say.
Yeah, but what do you call a low budget hotel? What price range?
Okay, like this is like in America, they have like Motel 8s, red roof ends.
Yeah, but
Like,
what?
when I say low budget when I say low budget hotels, let me put it like this: instead of a 5-star, or like the make it be like a 3-star, you know, a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, whatever.
So you know the price.
Like,
So
but like the comparison that I'm pointing out to you is that
yeah.
everybody cannot stay at the Marriott.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, how much for? But what I'm saying, but how much you think is a night by the Marriott?
No, I don't.
Yeah, but you have to know. But
you can tell me that.
yeah, but you can get a net at the Marriott for 100 and something US. That's not bad. That could be low budget too. You see what I mean? Yes, you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
got you, but I don't
saying
know
low
the figures.
budget.
Even though I'm trying out the idea, I don't know what the figures are. You know?
Yeah, but around here, anybody, these people stay anywhere. People can afford to stay anywhere they want to. You know, it's choices. Even staying somebody home.
So
Okay.
basically, that's what I'm trying to say.
It's like you have your home. You can rent your home. You can.
Think about building some other hotels to give choices. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not. I can take what you're saying, right? Because I don't know what the prices are for the hotels on each island, right? But what I'm saying is just to expand and give people more choices. That's all. That's the real point.
What it need. I mean, it just need more rooms. But I mean, the word low budget. I mean, we are a niche place.
Well, we could take that out of there.
Yeah.
What you're implying now is choices, and
Yes,
I would agree with you.
choices.
That's the real deal of what I want to say.
Yes. But appreciate that. I mean, good recommendation, definitely.
And I'll leave it there, man. Thanks a lot, man. You guys have a good night.
I appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Yes, and the caller had a lot to say, some recommendation and some stuff that is. I mean, just like we be here pointing out and talking about, same way. I mean, we do things different. We Nevis have our own autonomy over which we're saying we should move. We're moving as well. We've been saying, speaking like this all the time. There are many others who live here feel the same way. So it's not like we need to hear this from somebody else to say, oh, you know, that's not no rocket scientist. You see what I mean? It's just like CARICOM the same way. They don't want to be as one. They're not gonna say these things have been tried before. You see, they're not committed. They're not serious. They don't want to share the resources. That is all about taking from each other. It's about completing. Is it say okay? What happened when Dominica get mashed up, and they had a university down there? You see where the university went? Barbados. That was one thing. In Grenada, it was in Grenada get mashed up or something. At Dominica and he went to Barbados. You're supposed we're competing with each other. That's exactly what it is. We're not working as one entity. But go ahead, your son.
I was just about to tell you that you are being challenged because Tyreek Week says 100 US is not low budget. So maybe
100 US.
Yeah, he said 100 US is not low budget.
But where he live at? Nevis? Because if you go to eat dinner with somebody and choose somebody and spend 400, you spend 400 easy, 500 easy. If you go on the beach, go eat. Where there's sunshine, or by chills, or name one the beach by land with 4 people, you're going to spend over $400, Virgin. And you're not in a Marriott. You're just at the beach. I eat, you know what I mean, chicken and some ribs. And that's the reality, and Tariq knows that. That's the reality. Okay, but again, yes, son, you're going to Topikz. Topikz VIP is nearly $500. The entry for Topikz is $185. For an extra $100 than Marriott, that less than that less than Marriott could get you in a Marriott sometime as a local. These are realities. There are rooms in Marriott at times, depending on when it is. They're high season and they're low season. Whether it's Christmas time, we can get room for under $200 in Christmas times too as a local. That's a low budget. Watch these shows, don't hear what keep regular shows. So just look, it's how you look at things. You see, is what people want to spend their money on. But I understand what Terry coming from. But I know his shoes himself. You see what I mean? My car's 400, 200, 400 US or whatever. His pants. But it's how you look at things. And what is important. 100 US is nothing in these times, Virgin.
Yeah, as we continue, I just felt like added it in because we were talking about it.
Of
He
course,
also said that
that's fine. Of course.
there are high government officials who would rather see Nevis dependence in kits. I guess he is commenting that also based on some of the things that you would have mentioned. The thing is, Banky, there are
Yeah,
people out there listening and paying attention and realize that we are
we appreciate
holding
that.
all our officials and leaders accountable. We reason without any fear or any favor, and we just talk it as we see it, as we would say, straight shooter. It's not about getting personal with anybody. It's just about
Yes.
speaking it as
No,
it is.
man.
As we would say, it's the isness of things. As Mrs. String would say, Sister Kabu would say, it's the isness of
Yes.
things. That's what we're dealing with, the isness of things. And so we want to, say a special thanks to all of you who would participate and make your comments and who would call in. We really
Yes,
do
I.
appreciate you. On the platform, we had Alison Beige, okay, I guess Bejan. I guess you have it in our Beja
Mm-hmm.
can. It's Bejan / Jamaican. And she tagged a
Okay.
number of people.
Good
So
evening to you.
I
Appreciate
want
it.
to say good evening to you, Alison. And
Yeah, man. Big
thanks
up
for
yourself.
tagging all of these people and bringing some new people to the platform. Carl Paris, that's our brethren, Ras Ujima. Usually
Yes, right.
our
Big up family.
listener and follower as well. And he says, real talk. I guess that was one of his comments based on some of the things that we would have discussed earlier. And we really want to, give kudos to Carl Paris, who usually pay attention and log in. Tyreek Weeks. Okay, so those are the only persons we have on the platform this evening, at least who would have commented on the platform this evening.
Yes.
So we do take the time out to show appreciation to those who follow and those who take the time out to share. And we want to also encourage all of you who are here on the Facebook platform to run over to the YouTube, look for Real Entertainment Network, look for the logo you see there in the corner, and subscribe to our YouTube platform. As those of you who are Facebook followers would note that Facebook takes down the videos now after every 30 days. So if for some reason you want to go back to listen to this, your best bet at this point would be YouTube. We don't know if YouTube is going to make that adjustment at some point, but for now, it's not. So we want to encourage you to go over to the YouTube platform, like, subscribe, and share, and follow us there because we're going to be a lot more active in that space in recent times. We're getting closer to that time where we wrap up for this evening. So we gonna allow any other topic, Banky, that you want to drop in before we pull the curtains down on another edition of the Topics.
Well, I was told there was a press conference by Samuel Duggins. I get before I get reach home, I try to listen a piece of it. I realize they spoke on the Tabasco sauce and stuff like that, and food security and this kind of vibes. Yeah, son, if you're going to speak food security, show me the money. Show me the real investment. Show me where the plans when it comes for water. Okay, I can't farm without water. You see what I mean? Training for farmers consistently and stuff like that. How you encourage, what are the road in the next 10 years? Where what happened to the farmers who done in the 60s now? What happened 10 years from now? What happened 20 years from now? Who will be the news of the farmers? The time is always now. No. Time, present, future is always now. You see what I mean? We just been attacked, and now it is. That's the reality. So if we're not showing me the money, and where are the land policies that are allocated for farmers to a cannabis industry? You see what I mean? Land allocated for Tabasco. Explain the process of how these things going to happen, how we're going to benefit farmers, how much these things going to be selling for cars. Me not sell peppers, hot pepper especially. You understand? For a certain price. So these things got to be explained. How we're going to benefit, if you're going to cost. So we are going to find for cannabis. We are going to find for agriculture. This thing no fears me, no virgin. Cause I know it takes, So 300 acres of land and nothing. So I know it takes. I know the commitment. Cause this thing have to be harvested too. So I know the commitment. I know. So if you're gonna plant, you must plant within a system where either you're gonna have fully drip irrigation, or you're gonna be taking a relief rainfall. And when it comes to being consistent, when it comes to farming, you can't be guessing. And I wait for when it fall. I don't care which part if it's up in the mountain. You cannot wait. And it depends. You must have your water if you need it when it's necessary. But then you don't, you see what I mean? You must make sure that moisture, so you can't be guessing. Because now you're on contracts and you gotta meet. So you must have water. So how this project gonna run? We're gonna plant only a certain time. You have to be consistent all year round. Okay, it's a 3 months crop, so it means you have to be trying to get at least minimum 3 crops a year. So how this gonna work?
Well, what if that is going to help them create the model for the government create the model for what they're looking forward to in the future? For example, taking on a project like that. Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? Taking on a project like that is going to demand that level of consistency and that level of planning, right?
Yes.
Doing that and having that as a model could be taken into proper practice. Create the model for what is expected for other crops. Because remember, I've heard in recent times the ideas of shipping to St. Bart's, and there's possibilities for the little islands closer, where they St. Martin, Montserrat, and so on. So if we are supposed to be thinking serious about that, what I'm just saying is a project like that would be helpful if we choose to follow the model. Then we could have a similar model for whether it's sweet potato, whether it is watermelon, whether it is, so that we can then be in a position where we can meet our local market and also then be able to sell this up. Well, how do you view that?
Me still think, cause me not get the drift because we're not serious talking about.
Okay.
We're not serious, yes, and who will run these projects? Who will run these projects? You see what I mean? When you harvest it, where they're going, when you're speaking about things to me, I know all the moving wheels, what it takes for these things to run. I know this commitment what it takes. Where are the workers who gonna plant these things? If you're gonna talk about something, we should not be guessing these things in your son. This project is talking about. So we're supposed to have a full explanation how this thing work. How we can't talk about how it work. How you can't, nobody could talk about how this thing work. How we can't talk about it.
I guess it was just a press conference, and so they give a brief update. I guess they will have some updates coming in the not too distant future, so you listen out for the updates. I'm just, being, not different. I mean, a different pocket.
So the same project grown in the Nevis at Indian Castle, all dead. A project, and this is supposed to be a national project, federal project. So what happened to the project in Nevis? So how the crop go in Indian Castle, and then the little that left over in Cades Bay, the last row or wherever. So basically, you understand, the two crop dead.
Remember, we just were talking about the autonomy of Nevis, and I think in terms of agriculture, even though they try to have that collaborative effort. So then I guess this is an example of attempting to collaborate, but wasn't successful.
This is a project, that member, you have ministers and Nevis is a part of the federal cabinet. Gotta get paid to go. You understand? And the federal cabinet, they're gonna
argue right now they're in the opposition. They're gonna argue that they're in the cabinet, they're in the opposition.
But yeah, may not care where you're there. When you take on the responsibility of take resources and talk about and be a part of a project, when your ministries, the government, when the moment the papers don't come up, you take them, you're part of the project. You got to make sure the project goes through properly. You see what I mean? From scratch, you follow up everything, whatever you've done.
So then what may happen then, what may happen then is just that Sinkis will say, well, we did give you an opportunity to be a part of the project and you failed. So we'll continue to work on it on our ends.
But yes, sir, when me as a technician don't travel, when all the professors them love me down, and then they'll come back and tell, well, Benki, what happened to your guys? You spoke so wonderful of your ministry. Well, how am I supposed to say? When
Well,
I
you're
make me look
supposed
bad.
to say that.
What am I supposed to say? Huh?
I'll tell you what
Better
we
let me do the trial. It better if they let me do the trial, because when they come to visit my farm, when they come, they could not see the pepper Nevis. They could not kill them in Indian Castle. They could not kill them with the pepper they plant and me farm they bring them by me and Danny. You see? So better let Danny plant the pepper and them, and let me plant it.
We can tell them, right, that we have expired 1 hour 59 minutes and 32 seconds, and that we will see them next week. No, not next week, on Friday for another edition of Everything Agriculture, and we'll continue giving this update and more. And we want to say thank you to all of you who would have participated and spent your 2 hours with us here on this edition of the Topics. And I really want to send a very special thanks to the Real Entertainment Network team. I can't do this and leave without commending the guys and the team. A lot of y'all may not understand why we say this, but trust me, if you do understand what we do to bring this show to you, you would truly appreciate and understand and join with us as well in giving the true commendation to the people who are part of what we call the Real Entertainment Network. Sometimes people wait until people gone to give them the flowers. I giving these guys the flowers now while they're up and around. And we're still going. So imagine the kind of collaboration that we have now, and we're still going. So Real Entertainment team, I really want to thank you guys. Alan and Reese and Ira and Chev and all the others who are behind the scenes. We really appreciate the efforts and the commitment and the dedication to really make this a reality. And with that said, Banky, we will, let our folks have a wonderful Tuesday evening, and we look forward to seeing you guys Friday for another edition of Everything Agriculture. Real Entertainment Network, give thanks. Take it away.
Share the link and subscribe. Let me try to get the views up to 100,000. You understand? Subscribers every month. We just get to the 8. So just keep sharing the link to keep reach as much people as possible. That's the key, son. Every month we get a couple thousand subscribers. Real Entertainment.
With myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else choose you instead. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to.